Hi everyone, Empress Justice here, and welcome to the Krittika new moon reading. Okay, so we are talking Sun and Moon in Krittika Taurus, and also we are talking Anuradha Ascendant, Uttara Palguni Midheaven, and what's the Merc? What's the Merc? Oh, hold up, we got we got Krittika Taurus, Mercury as well. Now this ought to be rich. Okay. Okay, so we got Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Krittika in Taurus. This should be very rich. Okay, let's get straight on with the lunar path number first. Okay, so first off, 16th of May 2026, when the new moon drops, is going to drop at 9:01 p.m. British summertime on the 16th. Okay. So the lunar path number for this particular transit is going to be 22-4. It means world building. So there's going to be a lot at stake during this time until the next new moon. There are going to be themes of taking what we enjoy most, taking what we want most, and creating our own world with it. But as we do that, there's something that we have to give up in order to do that. And what we have to sacrifice, what we have to give up, is not going to be what we expect. This is something that we have to be prepared for. And the reason why I say that is because there's the moon, not only conjunct the sun and Mercury, it's also conjunct Uranus, right? All in Krittika. All in Krittika. So our sense of peace, our sense of material comfort, all of that is about to change. And in order to build our own worlds, we have to build it from the changes that we are observing in our own lives. Okay. The changes in particular may be to our finances, and it will be to change itself. Now, there are specific changes during every time period that people are used to making, but there will be changes of the changes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you might be ready to make a change of some kind, but there will be a change to that change. Literally nothing is going to stay the same as it was. Not the way we communicate, not the way we emote, not the way that we think. Nothing is going to be the same after this new moon. And you've just seen that Krittika Nakshatra video that I did. There are going to be massive changes to the way we live our lives, and especially financially, and any new experiences that we cultivate in our lives. All those things are going to change. Our sense of newness is going to change. Our way of changing is going to change as well. All of these things are going to change. Okay. So there's a sextile to Punavasu in Jupiter. Like I said, there is good luck coming, but that good luck revolves around revisiting past situations and gleaning the more positive aspect, the most positive lessons from that nakshatra from Purnavasu in Gemini. It's also about finding our inner light as well. So it's from our past situations, revisiting them, that we find our inner light and that we find our inner selves. And because of that, we may be very, very blessed in the way that we communicate with one another and in the way that we think. Some of us might experience that the fog is clearing from our mental state, and it might be a sort of the sense of clarity that you might get from the way that you think. It might kind of discombobulate you slightly, right? And then we've got the moon and all the other planets trining Shravana in Pluto, but Pluto's in retrograde, and trining Uttara Palguni midheaven in Leo. So yeah, there is some deep internal excavation going on with regards to how we see our overall purpose in life. So on top of that Purnavasu sextile, that Purnavasu Drupi sextile, the moon trine Shravana Pluto retrograde, there's going to be a lot of deep and internal understanding. There's a lot of churning, a lot of lessons being learned from the past in a deep and meaningful way that may leave you more healed and more in tune with yourself than you were previously. And it's from a deep-seated place as well. This is not shallow internal healing or shallow internal changes. These internal changes are deep, but they are changes that ultimately benefit you and ultimately remind you of the better qualities of yourself, which is great. It's what you want. And then with that trine with Uttara Palguni midheaven, hey, that sun dominant energy is no joke. You're talking about an increase in understanding the joyfulness of life, like really getting into the joyfulness of life, making partnerships or forming, relationships that are actually useful to you, not even just financially, but in terms of the changes you have to make as well. So we may find ourselves forming useful partnerships, useful people that do help us in what we are trying to accomplish, right? Especially if we are in line with our integrity and we're in line with who we are as people. We may find that we have people along the way who are more than willing to help us. It's all about having the most noble cause possible. That's what will get other people to your side. Okay. And also, there is going to be a lot more dignity. I don't see conflict. Like, I don't see conflict like that as a rule, but I do see that there's going to be a lot more internal dignity as well, which means less people pleasing. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean hostility. Just because you're not people pleasing like that, it doesn't mean you're going to be hostile. Then we've got the opposition to Anuradha ascendant. Anuradha kind of goes inwards. It kind of draws its power from going inwards. Krittika draws its power from going outwards. So there's a little bit of a conflict there. There's a little bit of conflict, but there is a strengthening of the moon, sun, Mercury, and Uranus, and there's a strengthening of the ascendant, because the more the more opposed it is the more powerful they tend to be on both ends. So we may find that our desire to keep the peace and to keep things on an even keel might be stronger as well. But what we have to watch out for is, because of the nature of both Krittika and Anuradha, we do have to watch out for some volatility here. And it's not like Uttara Palguni, where we will collectively demonstrate our dignity in a healthy way. No, Anuradha and Krittika can be very volatile. So like there might be conflicts. I'm not going to lie. There might be conflicts, but it's not going to be like an egotistical sort of conflict. It's going to be a conflict that's based upon belief and based upon the ethics that we hold true. Might be even fights between people because of who they love or what they love, or stuff like that, right? It's going to be a deeper sort of conflict rather than just shallow, petty nonsense. You know what I mean? And I say this knowing that Anuradha and Krittika both have short tempers, but this is not going to be shallow conflict here. This is going to be conflict that has a deeper root there. There's integrity behind the conflict. Okay? Now, I'm going to close out with Mercury sextiling Neptune and Shravana retrograde. Shravana Pluto retrograde. So Mercury, Krittika Mercury is sextiling Uttara Bhadrapada Neptune and Shravana Pluto in retrograde. I don't know if a lot of you have been experiencing downloads or experiencing more lucid dreams, but some of you are going to be dreaming a lot more lucidly, but it's actually going to aid your mentality. It's actually going to facilitate your reasoning, basically. You're not going to dream about symbolism that you can't understand. You're going to dream about symbolism that you can understand and you can process and you can make sense of, which makes your everyday life a bit easier to get through, because you understand what your dreams are telling you. And then with Shravana retrograde, with Mercury and Shravana retrograde, it, like, again, you're looking within. The more you look within, is the happier you will be and the more healed you will be. And luckily, our collective Mercury is sextiling Pluto. So instead of us finding ourselves fighting against the deeper parts of our nature, what we might find is that the more we look within, is the more we find answers. Okay. Now that was the Krittika new moon. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm Empress Justice, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and blessings. Bye bye, my darlings.